Hi, what's up, gamers? Welcome back to another episode of your weekly news roundup here on Stando Mania. I, of course, am your host, Stando, and this is your co-host, Todd. And we've got some news for you this week, so we're just gonna jump into it if that's okay with you. Is that okay with you? I think it's okay with him. Let's do it. The biggest news of the week, of course, is coming out of Nintendo. They're shutting down their Wii U and Nintendo 3DS eShops, which is kind of frustrating to fans. According to reports, around Q4 later this year, you will no longer be able to make credit card purchases or use gift cards to make purchases on the EU shop for those systems. However, downloadable codes will still be available through March 2023. And for the foreseeable future, though, however, you will still be able to re-download games and DLC and receive software updates and play games online on those systems. You just won't be able to make new purchases. And this is extremely frustrating to pretty much all the fans, right? It makes sense that, these are systems that are no longer being used, so it's costing a lot of server space to keep these stores open and these items available. But at the same time, Nintendo has no plans to keep their classic libraries available on future consoles, which is the most frustrating part. So let's say a game came out in 2013 on the Nintendo Wii U, and I never had a Nintendo Wii U, and I didn't even know about this game, and it turns out to be pretty awesome, and I want to buy it. Well, it's not available to me anymore. I can't buy it on my Switch or whatever. And that turns into like this Disney type sentiment, where back in the day, like a film would come out like Snow White or Cinderella, and they would be available for a limited time. And then after that limited time, Disney would lock those up in the vault and not worry about them again until they thought they could make the most profit. Like, it's time to bring those out of the vault so we can sell them. And put them on sale for a limited time so we can lock them back up and, drive up demand. It's super frustrating. And, as far as game preservation goes, I want games to be available all the time. That way, like, if I hear about a game like late, like a few years late, I can still go back and play that game. It's, I didn't lose my chance just because I wasn't there day one, because something else bigger was there day one. Like, there's got to be legal means to preserve these games, preserve. Anyway, there's got to be a legal way to preserve these games, because, you have ROM sites that try to do it and preserve these games, but then you get Nintendo that comes around and swings the banhammer and lawsuits at them for doing so. And it's not like I'm for piracy. If you have a legal means to get something, you should always use the legal means. But if that product is no longer available and it's defunct, and the only way you can get it is going to a ROM site, why wouldn't you go to the ROM site? Of course people are going to do that. But at the same time, the Nintendo or the publisher or whoever should be making ways for that software to be available and preserved, and shouldn't leave it to a ROM site to do the job for you. You should be doing that job on your own. So that's my thoughts on that. I just, it sucks. Sony tried to do that same thing with the PS3 and the Vita, and ultimately had such a huge fan backlash that was overturned. I don't think that'll be the case here. Nintendo is much more bullheaded than Sony. Even though Sony's bullheaded on a lot of things, Nintendo's way more old school, way more old fashioned, way more bullheaded. So I doubt it. I doubt it's going to amount to anything. In other news, Platinum told the VGC, or the Video Game Chronicle, that they are, not going to turn down anybody that offers them money to be acquired. All right. If Microsoft comes around with, a good chunk of change, like $8 billion, hey, we'll entertain the idea. Again, this comes from VGC, where Platinum Games said, this is the CEO. He said, quote, The most important thing for us is to have freedom to make games that we want to make. What I hear about the recent acquisitions, I don't think Microsoft is going to start micromanaging Activision to where they take away all their freedom. I don't think that's going to be a relationship like that. And he's right. If I hate to see these bigger companies become the gatekeepers of, content, and smaller companies, relegating that as an exclusive for their subscription service or for their hardware. But at the same time, if you're throwing money at that company and letting them, create what they want to create, it's hard to argue a downside here other than the exclusive rights, right? So, hopefully if Platinum gets picked up, they get picked up by someone really freaking cool that lets them make the next Nier game, or the next Wonderful 101 or Bayonetta or Astral Chain that's like out of this world, big budget, high quality game that's just freaking amazing, because Platinum is good at what Platinum does. Matter of fact, Platinum also is kind of interested in reviving Scalebound. You guys remember Scalebound? It was announced way back when the Xbox One was first getting ready to be launched under the Metacritic era, the development of that game went pretty extensive. Like, they were well into that game when Phil Spencer took over and kind of, squashed it. But according to Platinum Games president Atsushi Inaba and vice president Hideki Kamiya, I hope I said those names right, they're not opposed to saying, hey, Phil, you closed this down too early. You didn't really see what we have under the hood. Let's try to get this going. Let's do it. We did Devil May Cry and Bayonetta. We can do this with Scalebound. Let's go. I kind of thought Scalebound was pretty cool. I didn't really like the whole, the cringy headphone wearing, I'm on the edge, I'm an edgy angst teen thing going on with the trailer. But if they can go back in and modernize that and some of the character stuff that didn't really work out, that's definitely going to not work out a decade later. Hey, give them a shot, Phil. Give them a shot, man. Let's get it going. Let's bring Scalebound back. Ubisoft told their investors that they are also not going to snicker at any future offers or, acquisition offers, that they will entertain those ideas. And you know what? It's probably best if Ubisoft does get bought at this point, right? So Ubisoft, it's kind of funny, they bought themselves back. They prevented themselves from being involved in a hostile takeover by Vivendi just a few years back by buying up all their shares. And now we've seen what Ubisoft does, and that is Ubisoft, they make all their games the same. So if you buy an Ubisoft game, if you buy Assassin's Creed and you buy Far Cry, you essentially are buying the exact same game. Sure, the skin's a little bit different. Sure, the story's a little bit different, but their games are so streamlined and so cut and paste, copy and paste nowadays that and there's so much filler, and they just want you to keep playing those games forever. Like, they come out with DLC ideas when they announce that the game's going into pre-production, which is kind of stupid. I'm looking at you, Division. And then they do crappy things on the back end of games, like the NFTs and, locking, certain things behind paywalls and Helix credits. I've come around to cosmetic microtransactions in the past couple of years, but gameplay stuff, bro, Ubisoft, y'all need work. This game's a service thing. Every game doesn't have to be a game's a service, okay? Let's dial it back. Let's get some smaller experiences. We don't have 1,000 hours to play we don't have 1,000 hours to play one of your games, let alone 7 of them that come out in a year. You know what I mean? So maybe it's time you get bought out. You're wanting to be bought out. Maybe it's time. Just saying. All right. Anyway, moving on. Sony gets a big win with Horizon Forbidden West, which Sony kind of needs a big win with Horizon Forbidden West, and not only Horizon, but future games as well. We'll talk about that in a second. Horizon Forbidden West is currently sitting at an 88 on Metacritic at the time of this recording, which is awesome for Sony. You know, they kind of need this, right? Because, you know, you have Microsoft buying Activision that took up a lot of headlines in our industry news. Even though, you know, Sony turned around about Destiny, it wasn't as big as Microsoft buying Activision, just saying. So you kind of need this win to keep people buying your console. I mean, right now, the PlayStation 5 is outselling Xbox 1.7 times. There's prediction going around by industry analysts that say that, you know, by the end of the year, PlayStation will outsell the Xbox 2-1. But sooner or later, you know, Microsoft is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that lead that Sony has is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. You know what I mean? So, you know, Sony needs a good win, because here's why, guys. Competition is good. And if you can make competition the best it's ever been, that drives innovation forward, and it makes companies do some bonkers things that are only good for gamers, okay? So they need a win with Horizon. They need a win with Gran Turismo 7. They need a win with God of War Ragnarok and whatever other first-party exclusives they got coming out this year. Not only do they need that, but they need to find a way to make these, you know, things happen a little bit more often throughout the year. Let's get more games from my first party studios throughout the year. How is that possible without sacrificing quality? Quality titles that get 88, 85s, 90s, not, you know, anywhere between 85 and 100 on Metacritic. That quality bar, you know, we need that. We need the quality bar, but we also need to have more of them. And so Sony needs a win every now and then, and I hope they get it, because that makes Xbox work harder and that makes Nintendo work harder. And we see that with Nintendo bringing out their new Pokemon Arceus game, which is a big win for Nintendo and for Pokemon fans, because it takes that game into new directions, and it's been a blast for everybody that I hear that's been playing that game. So we need more of that. We need more of that. But anyway, let's talk about the games that are coming out this week, guys. All right. The games that are coming out this week, wrapping up the last week in February, guys. Where is the time going? It's already the end of February 2022. Man, years already flying by, and we're only, you know, into the second month, going into the third month. All right, here we go. You have Destiny 2, The Witch Queen. That is coming out to the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Stadia, PC, February 22nd. Of course, you know, a lot of Destiny fans out there still playing the game. Destiny has come a long way from what Destiny 1 was, which totally turned me off. So if you're still riding the Destiny train, good on you, man. Hope you get some pretty awesome new content coming. Monarch comes out to the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, PC, February 22nd. Soul Cresta, this is like a shmup, like a classic shmup, like the shoot 'em ups. Comes out to PlayStation 4, Switch, PC, February 22nd. Edge of Eternity comes out to the Nintendo Switch, February 23rd. Martha is Dead. This is kind of like a Quantic Dream game, or like a Telltale game. Comes out to the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC. That happens on February 24th. Never Alone comes out to the Nintendo Switch, February 24th. This one's a weird one, okay? Atelier Sophie 2, The Alchemist of the Mysterious Dream. What a name. What a name for a game. Comes out to the PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, PC, February 25th. Elden Ring. This is going to be From Software game. It's going to be From Software's first open world game. So if you're like into Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, I've never gotten to play any of those games. But you know, this might be my first, and it may make me decide to go back and play Demon Souls for PS5 or Bloodborne. That comes out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, February 25th. And last but not least, Grid Legends comes out to the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, February 25th. That's a game made by Codebreakers, which is the same people who make the Dirt series. So, beautiful racing games. And that's all the news I've got for you guys this week. Let me know what you think about some of the news. What do you think about Nintendo shutting down its eShops? Let me know down in the comments below. Platinum, Ubisoft getting possibly bought out in the future. What do you think about the industry-wide consolidation? Let me know about that in the comment section below. Do you want to see Scalebound being revived? Let me know about it. Also, what do you think about Horizon Forbidden West so far without spoiling it for me? Okay, without spoiling it for me, because I haven't played that game yet. Let me know down in the comments below. Hey guys, while you're down there, don't forget to leave a like in the video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss more weekly news videos. Also, guys, don't forget to check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Stando. I'm just saying, I stream over there 5 days a week. Hey, I love your face. Y'all have a good one. Right, Todd? Have a good one.